What if some of the most useful plants for supporting natural wellness was not hidden in expensive supplements or faraway markets, but growing quietly in ordinary gardens and backyards? While modern life often leads us to chase the newest health trend, our ancestors paid close attention to the plants that fed them, protected them, and helped them survive tough seasons. Some of these plants were once staples in every homestead and historical diet, yet today, most people walk past them without knowing their value. And now, modern research is beginning to explain why many of these old remedies have lasted for centuries. Today, I'll show you 15 healing herbs that our ancestors valued for their practical benefits and that science is now taking a closer look at. Stay with me, because number 7 was once used as a natural first aid plant in old homesteads, and the final one may already be growing near your home. If you want forgotten plant wisdom, practical health science, and self-sufficient living ideas delivered every week, hit that subscribe button now, because you don't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's get into it. Calendula the wound flower. This is one of those bright orange flowers most people grow just for color, but traditional healers saw it as a reliable partner for skincare. In old homesteads, families gathered the petals at peak bloom and turned them into simple preparations they kept on hand for everyday scrapes and irritations. Early farmers valued it because it was easy to grow, dried well, and stayed useful through winter. Research suggests calendula contains flavonoids and triterpenoids that may support the body's natural recovery processes. Some studies indicate it has mild anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties, which aligns with the way it was traditionally prepared for minor skin issues. You can make a gentle oil infusion by steeping dried petals in a neutral carrier oil for a few weeks, then straining it for a homemade salve, or brew a strong tea and use it as a compress. It grows beautifully in containers or garden beds and makes a great companion plant for vegetables. Most people tolerate calendula well, but always do a small patch test on skin first. It is generally considered safe for topical use and not a replacement for professional medical care when needed. Think of calendula as the quiet guardian that turns a simple garden bloom into your own natural first aid station. Chamomile the gentle calmer. You've probably seen these daisy-like flowers lining paths or tucked into teacups, but our ancestors treated chamomile like a daily ally for settling the body after long days of work. Traditional households brewed it regularly for digestive comfort and to ease restlessness, especially before bed. It was a staple in old remedy chests because it grew easily and stored well when dried. Modern research points to compounds like apigenin and bisabolol that may help relax smooth muscles and support a sense of calm. Studies indicate chamomile has been examined for its mild anti-inflammatory effects and gentle support for digestion, matching the practical ways it was used for generations. The easiest way is a simple tea. Steep 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried flowers in hot water for 5 to 10 minutes. Drink it warm in the evening or use cooled tea as a gentle rinse. Grow it in pots on a sunny windowsill. It thrives in small spaces and self-seeds for next year. Chamomile is generally safe for most people, though those with ragweed allergies should use caution. It is not meant to replace medical advice. Sometimes the most powerful support comes from the softest plants. The ones that remind us slowing down is part of staying strong. Garlic the natural defender. This humble bulb has been a kitchen staple for centuries, but early farmers and traditional healers used it far beyond flavor. They crushed fresh cloves into poultices or mixed them into meals during cold months, valuing it as something that helped the body stay resilient when resources were scarce. Science has taken a close look at allicins and sulfur compounds formed when garlic is chopped or crushed. Research suggests these may support cardiovascular health and have antimicrobial properties in lab settings, which lines up with its long history of everyday use. Chop or crush it fresh and let it sit 10 minutes before cooking to activate the compounds, then add to soups, sautés, or make a simple infused honey for storage. Plant your own cloves in fall for next year's harvest. It grows in containers or raised beds with almost no effort. Garlic is safe for most when used as food, but large amounts may interact with certain medications like blood thinners. Consult a healthcare provider if you have concerns. It is not just seasoning. It is one of the plants our ancestors counted on when they needed quiet strength from the ground up. Ginger, the warming root. Long before it became a trendy shot, ginger root was prized by traditional healers for warming the body and easing digestive discomfort after heavy meals or travel. Early homesteads cooks grated it fresh into teas and stews, keeping it on hand as a reliable remedy for occasional nausea or sluggishness. Modern studies have explored gingerols and shoguls for their potential to support digestion and reduce occasional inflammation. Research suggests it may help the body maintain comfortable movement and settle the stomach, echoing its traditional role. Peel and slice fresh root for tea, or grate it into meals and smoothies. You can grow ginger in pots indoors or in warm climates. It loves rich soil and indirect light, and one piece can multiply into a steady supply. Ginger is generally safe, though pregnant individuals should check with a professional about appropriate amounts. Use it as part of your daily routine, not a cure-all. Picture ginger as the steady fire in the root cellar, always ready to bring warmth when the body feels off balance. Lavender, the serenity bloom. Most people know lavender for its scent, but traditional households dredged the flowers and used them in everything from linseed sachets to simple skin rinses. Our ancestors valued it for helping the mind and body unwind after demanding days, tucking bundles into pillows or steeping them for gentle washes. Research has looked at linalool and other essential oil components that may promote relaxation and support skin comfort. Some studies indicate lavender has mild calming effects when used in aromatherapy or topically, consistent with its historical place in everyday care. Create a simple infusion by steeping dried buds in hot water or oil. Use the cooled tea as a face mist, or add a few drops of diluted essential oil to a bedtime bath. It grows well in sunny garden spots or containers and attracts beneficial insects. Lavender is safe for most when used properly, but concentrated essential oil should always be diluted and kept away from young children's faces. It is the plant that teaches us peace can be as simple as a handful of purple flowers drying in the sun. If this is making you realize how much old plant knowledge has been forgotten, hit the like button. It helps this video reach people. WHO still believe useful knowledge should not disappear. And if you haven't subscribed yet, join us here for practical plant wisdom, health science, and self-sufficient living ideas every week. Peppermint, the digestion soother. This vigorous mint has been growing in gardens for generations, and traditional healers kept it handy for after-meal comfort. Early farmers chewed the leaves or brewed them into tea to settle occasional stomach unease, especially after rich or unfamiliar foods. Studies have examined menthol for its ability to relax digestive tract muscles and support comfortable digestion. Research suggests peppermint may help with occasional bloating or spasms, matching the practical ways it was used in old kitchens. Harvest fresh leaves for tea or chop them into salads and sauces. Dry bunches for winter storage. It grows abundantly in containers and spreads easily, so plant it where you can control it. Peppermint is generally safe, but those with acid reflux may want to use it cautiously, as it can relax the lower esophageal sphincter. It is the plant that turns a simple cup of tea into a moment of relief, reminding us that comfort often starts with something growing right outside the door. Yarrow, the first aid warrior. You might mistake this feathery-leafed plant for a common wildflower, but in old homesteads it was the go-to for minor cuts and scrapes. Traditional healers gathered it fresh, crushed the leaves into poultices, or dried it for storage, knowing it could be relied on when help was far away. Modern research has explored achilline and flavonoids that may support blood clotting and have mild antimicrobial effects. Studies indicate yarrow has been examined for its traditional role in wound care, helping explain why it earned its reputation. Make a fresh poultice by chewing or crushing leaves and applying to clean skin, or create a dried powder for later use. It grows wild in many areas or easily in garden beds and tolerates porous soil. Yarrow should not be used by pregnant individuals or those with bleeding disorders. Always clean wounds properly and seek medical care for serious injuries. Identify it correctly before harvesting. Think of yarrow as the battlefield plant that followed our ancestors through every challenge, still waiting quietly in meadows and edges of yards. Lemon balm, the mood balancer. This citrus-scented herb spreads cheerfully in gardens, and traditional households used it to lift spirits and calm nerves after long workdays. Early farmers brewed it into light teas or added leaves to meals, treating it as a gentle daily tonic for balance. Research suggests lemon balm contains rosmarinic acid and other compounds that may support a relaxed state of mind and healthy cognitive function. Some studies indicate it has been looked at for mild, calming effects without drowsiness, aligning with its historical kitchen use. Steep fresh or dried leaves for tea, or chop them into salads and desserts. It grows vigorously in containers and partial shade, making it perfect for small space homesteads. Lemon balm is very safe for most people and even gentle enough for occasional children's use in tea. It is the herb that proves a little lemony freshness from the garden can shift the whole tone of a difficult day. Oregano, the potent defender for far more than a pizza topping. Oregano was a trusted plant in historical diets. Traditional healers infused the leaves in oil or vinegar for everyday support, especially during seasonal changes when the body needed extra resilience. Modern analysis highlights carvacrol and thymol, compounds with promising antimicrobial and antioxidant activity in laboratory settings. Research suggests oregano may support the body's natural defenses, which helps explain its long use in preservation and wellness. Use fresh or dried leaves in cooking, or make a simple steam inhalation or throat gargle with strong tea. It grows easily in pots and loves full sun, drying beautifully for storage. Oregano is generally safe as a culinary herb, though concentrated oil should be used sparingly and diluted. It is the unassuming garden hero that packs more power than its small leaves suggest. Proof that strength often hides in everyday flavor. Rosemary, the memory keeper. This woody evergreen has scented gardens for centuries, and our ancestors valued it for sharp thinking and steady energy. Traditional households burned sprigs for clear air or brewed it into teas and hair rinses, treating it as a plant that supported daily focus. Studies have explored rosmarinic acid and cineol for their potential to support cognitive function and circulation. Research suggests rosemary may help maintain mental clarity, consistent with its traditional reputation. Snip fresh sprigs for cooking, tea, or even a simple infused oil for scalp massage. It thrives in containers or dry garden spots and survives winter in many climates. Rosemary is safe for most when used in normal amounts, though very large quantities are best avoided during pregnancy. It is the plant that reminds us focus can come from something as steady as an evergreen growing beside the door. Sage, the throat guardian. Content garden. Sage was more than seasoning in old kitchens. It was brewed into gargles and rinses whenever throats felt scratchy or voices grew tired from work. Traditional healers kept dried leaves on hand year-round for this exact purpose. Modern research has looked at thujone and other compounds for their mild antimicrobial properties and soothing effects on mucous membranes. Studies indicate sage may support oral comfort, matching the practical ways it was prepared. Make a strong tea for gargling or add chopped leaves to meals. It grows well in sunny spots and dries easily for long-term storage. Use sage in moderation during pregnancy and always in culinary or diluted tea amounts. It is the herb that turns a simple leaf into a voice of comfort when the body needs a little extra protection. Thyme, the breath supporter. Tiny thyme leaves have been gathered from garden gems for generations because traditional healers knew they could help ease occasional coughs and support clear breathing. Early farmers added it to soups and steams during damp seasons. Research highlights thymol and other essential oil components that may have expectorant and antimicrobial qualities. Some studies suggest thyme supports respiratory comfort, which explains its steady presence in historical remedy lists. Brew fresh or dritchered thyme as tea or use it in a chest rub when diluted in oil. It grows compactly in containers and loves dry, sunny conditions. Thyme is safe for most people as food or mild tea. It is the low-growing plant that proves big support can come in the smallest packages. Turmeric, the golden root. This bright rhizome has traveled through historical diets for centuries valued by traditional healers for its warm color and ability to support comfortable movement after hard physical work. Homesteaders dried and powdered it to keep on hand year-round. Modern science has studied curcumin and other polyphenols for their antioxidant and anti-inflammatory potential. Research suggests turmeric may help the body manage occasional inflammation when paired with black pepper for better absorption. Grate fresh root or stir powder into warm milk, soups, or rice. Grow it in large pots in warm conditions. It rewards patience with a steady harvest. Turmeric is generally safe, though high doses may interact with certain medications. Consult a professional if needed. It is the root that turns everyday meals into something that quietly supports the body's own balance. Echinacea, the immune ally. This striking purple coneflower was a favorite in prairie homesteads and traditional gardens because it was easy to grow and seemed to help the body stay strong. During seasonal shifts, healers harvested roots and flowers at the right time and prepared them as teas or tinctures. Studies have examined alchemides and polysaccharides that may support immune cell activity. Research suggests echinacea has been looked at for its role in helping the body respond to seasonal challenges, consistent with its long traditional use. Dry the aerial parts or roots for tea, or grow it as a perennial border plant that returns stronger each year. Echinacea is generally safe for short-term use, though those with autoimmune conditions should check with a healthcare provider. It is the flower that stands tall through summer and reminds us resilience can be cultivated right in the soil. Plantain, the backyard healer. This common weed with broad leaves pops up in lawns and pathways everywhere. Yet traditional healers and elderly farmers treated it like a free first aid resource. They crushed fresh leaves into poultices for bites, stings, or minor skin irritations, knowing it traveled with people wherever they settled. Modern analysis has found aucubin and other compounds that may support skin soothing and mild antimicrobial action. Research suggests plantain has been studied for its traditional wound care uses, which explains why it earned such a practical reputation. Pick clean, young leaves, wash them, and apply directly as a poultice or make a simple salve with infused oil. It grows without any help in disturbed soil, harvests sustainably, and never from sprayed areas. Plantain is very safe for topical use, but always identify correctly and wash thoroughly. It is not just a weed. It is old knowledge growing under your feet, waiting to be noticed again. The real lesson here is not that ancient people knew everything. It is that they paid attention to what grew around them, what supported their bodies, and what helped them thrive with what they had. They watched the seasons, tested the plants, and passed down what worked. In our modern world of convenience, that kind of quiet observation still matters. Start with just one plant from this list. Learn it properly. Grow it in a pot, cook with it, dry it for storage, or simply notice it the next time you see it in the garden or along a path. Small steps like that build real self-sufficiency and reconnect us with forgotten plant wisdom. Drop a comment below and tell me which ones surprised you most, or which you already have growing nearby. And if you want more practical plant wisdom, health science, and self-sufficient living ideas, subscribe now and I'll see you in the next video. Take care out there.